All right, let's jump right in. We all think about history in terms of things we can see and touch, right? Ancient books, faded artifacts. But what about preserving a sound? What happens when the most important part of a culture isn't just what's written down, but how it's actually spoken or even sung? Well, that's what we're tackling today, this incredible challenge of how to save the sound of a sacred tradition before it disappears.
I mean, really think about that question. How do you digitize a voice from 1,000 years ago? It almost sounds like science fiction. It's one thing to scan a page or take a picture of a stone tablet, but how in the world do you capture the living, breathing soul of an oral tradition, all the specific tones, the rhythm, the unique melody, and bottle it up for the future?
And see, that's the thing. There's a double danger here. On one hand, you've got these ancient manuscripts, so incredibly fragile that the pages themselves are literally fading away. But at the same time, you have the oral tradition, the specific way these texts are chanted, which has been passed down person to person for centuries. If that chain gets broken, if a generation is lost, the sound, and arguably the true meaning, it could just vanish forever. So the big question is, could technology step in? Could it build a bridge from that ancient and tangible heritage into our digital world? A bridge that ensures it survives not just as silent text, but as living sound. Well, this is where a tool called Shruti Sankalanam enters the picture, and it is so cool. It's a piece of software built to solve this exact problem. This isn't just another document scanner. No, this is a system designed from the ground up to preserve the whole experience. The words on the page and their unique traditional sound.
So how does it actually pull this off? How does it take something so ancient and complex and make it manageable? Well, it breaks the whole thing down into a really clear, logical 5-step process. Let's walk through it, from the original page to the final pixel. Okay, so step 1, you create a digital book to keep everything organized. Simple enough. Step 2, you upload your images. These can be high-quality scans or even just photos from a camera. Now, step 3 is where a bit of tech magic kicks in. The software uses something called optical character recognition, or OCR, to actually read the text from those images and turn it into digital words you can edit. But, and this is the crucial bit, step 4 is adding the pitch marks. We'll come back to that. And finally, step 5, you just download the whole thing as a standard digital book file, an EPUB. Now look, that text recognition part, the OCR, that's really impressive stuff, but it's not brand new. The real game changer here, the thing that makes this whole project so incredible, is all about capturing that sacred sound. Because, anyone who's ever heard these traditions live knows it is so much more than just the words on a page. The melody, the rise and fall of the voice, that's where the meaning, the emotion, and centuries of history are carried. And this right here is the fundamental difference. Standard digitizing gives you a silent library of words. It's useful, for sure, but what Shruti Sankalanam does is create a library of living traditions. It saves the body, which is the text, and it also saves the soul, the chant that brings it to life. It's all about those nuances. That's the key word. Those tiny, subtle shifts in pitch, the specific rhythm and timing, those are the very things that are basically impossible to write down in plain text. And that's what turns this from just a digital document into an actual guide for future generations to learn from. So, after all that work, the scanning, the text conversion, adding all those intricate pitch marks, what do you end up with? What's the final result, and why is it such a big deal? The final output is something you've probably used before, an EPUB file. Now, I know that doesn't sound super exciting, but it's actually huge. An EPUB is a universal format that you can open on pretty much any device. Your phone, a tablet, your computer. It means this entire complete scripture, with both the text and the guides for how to chant it, becomes a library you can carry around right in your pocket. So let's just recap why this matters so much. First, you get universal access. Suddenly, anyone, anywhere in the world can study this material.